Looks like the cat's staked its claim. "Share a meal with me?" it asks. "I was just being polite," the cat snaps. "You don't deserve him anyway." It stands and hisses. The child murmurs softly. The woman blurts out a reply. "Have you heard about a missing child? Any reports of a girl like this? Mother's playing this game." There's no particular resemblance between them, but they could still be related. The woman snarls. Outside this restaurant, a middle-aged man in a suit and a full clown makeup is gobbling down a sandwich. He gulps hard. "No, that's the problem." He pulls you into a drunken, one-armed hug. "That's not the point," he cries. Cookhouse is in disarray. She shakes off the suds. As you sit, her fire-tanned face cracks into a smile of relief. Her eyes widen as the heat stings as you enter. Three delivery trucks sit on the waterfront. Their driver is securing the cargo. 12 cop cars form a protective half-ring around them. Their occupants seem to be gearing up for combat. You approach a pair of cops. The broad one pushes shells into a shotgun with a practiced motion and an undercurrent of excitement. The broad cop grunts. "You been living under a rock?" "Strikers," says the other. The broad cop sneers. "Doesn't matter. They better fall in line." Whatever your feelings, there's nothing you can do. An old woman watches as you approach her bench. She rests her head against your shoulder, as if you were old companions. "Strong, healthy, alone. I don't grieve. Each one brought me joy." Her laugh degenerates into a cackle. Afternoon! The fish nods affably. He swings his catch over his shoulder, grunting with effort. Got a big 'un today. He works with practiced efficiency. To remove the shirt, the fish cradles the body in his arms. When he removes the man's trousers and underwear, the gesture he uses to lift the corpse's hips is almost intimate. The fish trims the man's hair, head, chest, groin, even legs. Then, he stabs the knife into the man's chest. You prop the body up while the fish skewers it on a rough spear. The corpse sags. Tantalizing, isn't it? Smell alone makes... As you will.
Where are you headed now? I'm thinking about getting out to the coast again. I want to get to Frisco and gaze upon the Pacific Ocean like in days past. Contemplation of water is an ancient healing practice, you know? The vastness of the sea makes the personal wounds we suffer seem small in comparison. That's the theory, anyway. Silas told me that once. Do you know any stories that will make me laugh? A tall order, I know. Oh, I like that one. Very, very clever. Fortune. Pauline once told me I was lucky to be alive. How thankful should I be for that? She said it was hard on her to watch me put myself in these troublesome situations. Somehow that didn't help and I got upset with her. Even though I knew she just wanted to help, I still feel betrayed by her. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that? That one was like getting locked out in the cold with nothing but your sorrow. I liked it. They were my family. It wasn't just that we were close. There was something stronger that bound us to each other. It was a sense of belonging to each other. We were going to share our lives, and we knew it was meant to be that way. Silas said once that we were bodhisattvas, born into this world to help people. It was a nice thing to say, but I had my suspicions then. Now I don't believe it at all. Alone, out here, I spend too much time inside my own head. Can you tell me a hopeful story to lighten my mood? I like that one. Makes me feel the way Silas used to in the old days. What's in my future? Well, even the most alert people still fall into pits. So you're not alone if you're casting around, wondering how to pull yourself out from the muck and the slop. In my case, even when I did get up, my mud-covered eyes prevented me from seeing clearly. So I tumbled into the next ditch. I suppose I'll just keep doing that forever. Sometimes I want to hear a sadness that resonates with my own. Do you know any stories like that? The tragedy in that story, it's real. Have you ever tried writing poetry? There's some more travel I could do. I think a lot about going back to Frisco where it all began. I could find Silas and Pauline and ask them if this is what they really wanted, pretending to be normal together. The road would take me right there if I let it. But no, I don't trust myself to see them and act like a decent human being, maybe with more distance. Right now, it's still so much to bear. I need an optimistic story right now, something to put a smile on my face. Can you think of any like that? That's a good one. We do reach up like that, towards hope, joy. You don't really enjoy something unless you experience the lack of it too. Hunger makes the food taste better, and so on. It's an old idea. This is what I tell myself about sorrow too, that the joys couldn't be possible if it weren't for the lows as well. I don't know if I believe it all the way though. In the end, a deep, powerful, consuming hunger doesn't make food taste good. It just turns eating into a compulsion. Here's the sun, and my time to go. I've got to get an early start. My next leg takes me down the road this way. I'll be looking for some new sights, for some new clarity. But I suppose I'll be carrying Pauline and Silas around with me there too. That's no kind of clarity. Is that a spiritual failure? Or is it a natural thing? Perhaps I'll have an answer for you when next we meet. More likely, though, I won't.
I'm gonna scrawl my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. 'Cause when that ferryman comes for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much to find that can be found. My coals burn low and my trains run out of track. Won't be no one else to dig my hole. Cold and empty, they're the ones who will bury me. Well, I'm
I always knew you'd come loping back my way and catch me checking for marks. How you been, traveler? I'm afraid I got myself in some damn tight spots since we last made bets with each other. It's the way of the world. You give too much, someone gon' take away too much. Just don't mind me if I seem like I'm wincing. It ain't you. It's just love making its way to hell. Come over, come sit. Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood or something like that? God damn, you're giving me the chills, sweetheart. I guess when you've been hurt like that, you wonder what the other person were thinking when they doing the damage. This boy, though, you were patient and fine looking. When I saw him with my baseball bag, I knew. As I ran up to snatch it back, I knew. And when he hit me, it hurt two kinds. It hurt two kinds. And the kind without the blood hurts the worst. Because the body heals and the mind don't. Hey, got any exciting stories? Like the movies? Honey, thrills is the stuff I live on. That one will keep me going. Freedom's a trap. The more they tell you you have it, the more they've taken it away. The more you try to move toward it, the more your legs get deeper into the web. I left jail one morning and the jailer said a sweet goodbye. And I walk out into the town square and a man spit on me for looking like I weren't dressed for outside. Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood or something like that? Just what I asked for. That spooky stuff gets my heart going like a good hand sometimes do. To be self-sufficient. To be indulged that once, you know? I've been thinking about this one pinko that came by the creek recently. He said that an uneven life was manufactured. But it didn't always have to be peaks and troughs. That evening it out was a way it could be. I think about that for a long time. Is it best to be in a slow-moving river all the time and never have your heart in your mouth at the rapids? Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood or something like that? Just what I asked for. That spooky stuff gets my heart going like a good hand sometimes do. You think you know what it is. I think everyone thinks they know what love is. But I feel like I need the ability to disavow. I thought I was in love with the guy who cracked a rib on me, but it was a crush. It was a little flibberty-gibbet caught up on a post in a hurricane. I look back at it, and it was all his charm, and it weren't a relationship more than a scam. Love is dead when you want it to be. Got any stories with ghosts or murderers or blood or something like that? God damn, you're giving me the chills, sweetheart. The things he promised me. It was like the world was looking into my soul and offering them on a plate. And maybe I bought into it because he was like me. Crooked, playing the customers. He would count until he knew he could make a deal with me. It's possible he's still out there. loving me in a bathtub of money I made him. I close my eyes and remember that squint he had, like, "What you looking at, Miss Dupree?" And me like, "Oh, I just like looking." All this heavy stuff, it's nice to have someone to pay attention. Soothe my bruises, let the dice be. You want to play a few cards with me before you move on? Of course you do. Let's play slow for a while and you tell me a tale.
Oh, it is a good day to see you, child. Just need a little company is all. Better celebration of life today. Young man, 17, maybe 18. Closed casket. They did that boy wrong, they did. I suppose I'm glad I gave his family a little hope, at least. You must have seen some pretty wild stuff on the road. What's the most exciting thing you've seen? That's how it is, huh? Well, maybe you ain't seen as much of this world as I have. Choice? Yeah, some days. I really believe that we all have choices in life. We are truly free to decide whether to live moral lives or to throw ourselves headlong into sin and profit. But on days like today, I think maybe only God chooses, and he does so with arbitrary cruelty. In some sermons, I need a story to show how hurt or grief works on a person. Have any like that? Sorry, that kind of thing don't scare me anymore. Sadness? I was wading in it today. That poor congregation. Normally you'd get a local pastor for something like a funeral, but the old boy died his own self, and the church's deacon is still in mourning. Anyway, why don't you tell me a scary story? Oh, you could rattle a congregation's bones, I bet. Fate, fortune. Well, crimes like this make destiny something easy to believe in. Washes our hands. Tells us there's nothing that could have been done, but it washes the hands of the offender too. It is fearful resignation and nothing more. Lately, my journey's been pretty ordinary. Just walking church to church. What about you? I swear I ain't heard a story good as that in a long minute. Not everyone has faith. I met one of them radicals around Chicago way last year. He was desperate to tell me about science, about how I don't need faith to save my people. Damn fool. He might be correct about what does or doesn't exist, but he sure ain't right about what we need. Lately, my journey's been pretty ordinary. Just walking church to church. What about... You've got a pretty wild life, you know that? This country? Listen, I saw his face. I opened the lid and saw what they did. A country that lets the men who did that to him live full, happy lives. That country ain't no home. I've got to go now, friend. Headed to a congregation over this way. Long walk alone. And this boy won't leave my head. And I keep thinking, I left America when I was his age. Lied on the form. Told him I was 25 when I was 17. I'd heard that the 369th Infantry Regiment needed a chaplain, so I told him I was a preacher. Don't get me wrong, I believed fervently, but I wasn't no reverend. I just memorized a few verses, some psalms, enough of the commandments to make me think I was a true man of God. Oh, my proud, arrogant lips.